Hey, good evening, everybody. Peter Beckman here. So excited to have you guys. It's Tuesday Night Live, 7 o'clock here on the East Coast and whatever else time that you're dialing in from. Glad you're here. Going to give it a minute or two for everybody to join us, get comfortable. Meantime, if you don't mind sharing where you are zooming in from, what location, what city, what state. I know we probably have a number of regulars here on tonight, which I love. Means we're doing something right. Probably have some new people here also, which I love also. Means that you're hearing about us. That is very exciting. So we're going to get started here in just a minute or two. We'll let everybody pop on. What's up, Gordon? How are you, buddy? What's up, Shane? How are you? What's up, Brad? I knew you're going to be here. What's up, Karen and Carl? We got Delaware in the house. We have Cumming, Georgia, my old stomping ground in the house. Yes, got a lot of sun. Actually, we took the boat out this weekend, went to the lake house, and we were literally leaving. We were going somewhere else in a little while. And for 40 minutes, we are like, let's just go take the boat out. And look what happened in 40 minutes. And it was just kind of windy outside and overcast. But man, sun is a powerful thing. What's up, Eugene? What's up, Michael? What's up, Tammy? How are you? Juanita, how you doing? What's up, Bill? How are you? What's up, Graham? So let's see. What do we got here? We got Western Mass in the house. We got Arkansas in the house. What's up, Sandra? What's up, Talon? We got Massachusetts in the house. What's up, Joe? We got Chicago in the house, Eugene. We got Greenville in the house, Snellville, Georgia, not too far away from where I am right now. I'm actually in Vinings, Georgia right now. What's up, Tammy? Virginia in the house. How's everybody doing? What's up, Bill? Sacramento. Love Sacramento. What's up? What's up, Graham? Phoenix. If you're in Phoenix, Graham, you probably know Dolph DeRoos, right? You probably know him. Well, Dolph's a friend, and he's actually going to be here and kind of visit me here in the next, I think, in 2 weeks. He actually is maybe with the most famous investor in Phoenix. So glad you guys are here. Thank you. We're in the middle of holidays and summertime and all this, but man, I love people that ain't slowing down, right? We ain't slowing down. We're chasing our dreams. We're chasing our goals, and I'm gonna give you some good stuff tonight, guys. I'm gonna give you some really good stuff here. Let me just get dialed in here with my computer. We're gonna talk about strategy here today. And I think I know strategy is a very, very key component when it comes to real estate investing, right? It's not one of those everything fits one mold. You got to be able to strategize through things, and so today we're going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about slow and fast and aggressive and non-aggressive and all that kind of stuff. So. Well, again, guys, thank you for being here. My name is Peter Beckselman, partner-driven real estate investing, and that's exactly what I am, a real estate investor. Some of you guys here tonight know me. Some of y'all may not know me, but what I am, if somebody in the street asks me, what do I do for a living? How do I make my life income? How do we derive the things we get out of life? It's because I'm a real estate investor. I have been a real estate investor for well over 2 decades now. Well, not well over 2 decades, but over 2 decades, about 22, 23 years now. And being an investor, I could also tell you I've done all kinds of techniques. I've done all kinds of strategies. You know, there's probably not too many techniques, not too many strategies over those couple decades that I have not been a part of. That I've not done to a certain level, to a certain degree. You know, I've done buy and holds, I've done creative deals, I've done wholesale, I've done fix and flips, I've done lease options, you name it, I did it. I've also done all kinds of property types. You know, I've done houses, done apartments, land, commercial deals. I've done a shopping center before. I've done a development deal, apartment deals, obviously. So when you kind of mix it all together, I would say I'm pretty versed when it comes to teaching and talking about real estate investing, because not only do I teach from a perspective of, well, I know how to do it, which some things I know how to do better than others. I teach from a perspective I've done it and still continue to do it. So I would consider myself to be a somewhat authority when it comes to real estate investing. Nothing I ever taught or teach comes from a perspective of a book, of a seminar, of a YouTube video that I watched. And I'm like, well, this sounds pretty cool. Let me go teach a bunch of people that. We do not here at Partner Driven do that. Everything we do here at Partner Driven, we teach from hands-on experience and actual application of the techniques and strategies. But we do have this very unusual name, whereas before I was Peter, a real estate investor. Now I am a partner-driven real estate investor. And some of you guys here tonight know what that means. Some of you guys are like, well, what does that mean? Well, what that means is this: I do my deals now with partners, and I partner with people literally all over the United States, and we do deals together. It's a win-win model. It's a win for myself and my organization, because we here, as an investment company, we always want to do more and more deals. Okay. And so a number of years ago, we realized that how do we do more deals, and we don't mean just kind of accidental deals. We mean like, ongoing, persistent, consistent deals. So how do we do that? And so we realized over a period of time that, well, to really kind of infiltrate the whole United States market, because think about this. If you want to have deals going on, right? Would you want to be working in a very, 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 very small area or a very large area? Like if you're in sales, do you want to have 3 potential customers, or do you want to have 3,000 or 300,000? Well, everybody understands that the bigger the pool of prospects, it doesn't matter what you do, the bigger of a chance of you really getting things done. And it's no different in real estate. So the ultimate pool of prospects is the whole field of United States. And we actually, before even getting into the field of United States, we've already had done very well. We had done very well here in Atlanta. We did very well in Florida. We did very well in various other markets, all the way out to California, but they were very specific, very concentrated, very centered, very centered types of markets. And so we said, well, how do we get beyond these very centered markets? Because there are some really good opportunities outside of them. Well, the only way to do it, if you understand real estate, is you have to have developed some kind of presence in these places. You got to have some kind of boots on the ground. You always hear people doing virtual investing and all that, but I will tell you, and make no mistake about it, although it does work, there is such things known as virtual investing, or basically investing outside of where you live. Those deals are far and few in between. The people that have mastered it are very rare, who do it consistently. Okay. And at best, they're what we call one-offs. Like you find one deal here, you find one deal here, and that's how that model works at best. But again, it rarely works to the level that you hear some of these gurus out there, pitching that kind of a model. But we said, if we literally do open up the whole United States to people, why don't we just partner with these people? To us, again, what's in it for us? We needed more deals. Okay. So we said, okay, we're going to open up the whole playing field of the United States, because we do want to do more deals. But in turn, what we're going to offer to our local partners is exactly what are known as pillars of success when it comes to real estate investing. Okay. We're going to basically give them what is needed to do deals. Okay. They're going to still need to execute. That goes without saying. They're still going to put that time and effort in. That goes without saying. But we decided at a point in time that we're going to give them literally unfettered access to everything that we had developed and everything that we have done here as a real estate investors ourselves. So our partners now get, one, they get our coaching and mentoring. And make no mistake about it, in this business, you better know what you're doing. You hear me talk about it week in and week out. And I could tell you still to this day, every once in a while, somebody somehow gets a hold of me and tells me exactly what I heard about an hour ago. Somehow somebody got my phone number and said, I love what you're doing. I cannot wait. I want to do this, but my wife said we could build this business by ourselves. And I said, good luck. It ain't going to happen. Okay. And it's just reality. You don't build this business by yourself. You know, the way you build this business by yourself is you arm yourself with a ton of money, because it's going to cost you a ton of money in mistakes and errors. You get yourself tough as nails by yourself, okay? And you just prepare for a long ride. And by the way, that is possible. I did that. It took me 3 years to make like nothing, and it cost me $750,000 for me to finally figure it out. So is it possible to do by yourself? Yes, I did it by myself, but you know, that's not what I would recommend to most people. So the first pillar we provide to our partners is we coach and mentor them. The second pillar is we actually generate leads for our partners right where they live. Very important. And not only do we like give them access or help them with that, we actually have a proprietary CRM system that literally takes all the potential owners of properties in their marketplace, and it starts marketing to these individuals on the partner's behalf. And when the potential seller raises their hand, says, yeah, I guess I'm open to selling, that becomes a real life lead, and it's handed over to our partner. That's pretty cool. And that's exactly what we do with our partners. The next thing is we provide technology. You know, make no mistake about it. Again, you hear me talk about this week in and week out, real estate, you need technology. You know, whereas in the Stone Ages, like when I started, technology was like, what is that? Then it became kind of like a give you a leg up, an advantage in the marketplace, and no longer is an advantage. It's a must have. As a matter of fact, if you don't have technology, like the right kind of technology, you are going to be left behind in today's marketplace. So we provide that for our partners. When we find the right properties, I provide 100% of the capital, both for short-term deals, like and by the way, right now, short-term deals, like when I say short-term, I mean like wholesale flips that are taking an hour transact, whereas before, many times they used to be able to be done under the premise of one closing and no money required. Those days are very quickly, like the window on them was dwindling. So we provide that capital, short-term capital, to complete deals, to a little bit longer term capitals if we ever want to fix and flip a property. Our back office provides that back office help and support in terms of closing these deals. We put them in the market, sell them, split the profits down the middle, 50-50. And that right there is the partner-driven model. We've been doing this a number of years. I could say it, we do it, as far as I know, we're the only ones doing it at the national level. And I 100% could tell you this, we're the only ones doing it to the level we're doing it at the national level. And so part of the reason that we do these Tuesday night webinars is, one, it's a way for us to reconnect with our existing partners. Our partners have almost unlimited access to us, both one-on-one basis, both through group basis. But this is just another way to connect with our partners. The second reason we do these Tuesday night webinars is we found out over a number of years of doing this is Tuesday night webinars, whether in a live or recorded environment, have simply become a very big gateway for people to get to know us, get to feel comfortable with us, you know, figure out if, you know, we're the kind of organization they want to, and the kind of people so they want to align themselves with. So if you're a partner here tonight we're going to kind of level up. I'm going to teach you couple things over here the next couple minutes. If you're not a partner here tonight, and you're you've been checking us out, feeling us out, and it's like, you know what, I'm not going to put my dreams and goals on hold anymore. You know, it's kind of like, you know, people can make a decision about buying a car within a weekend, but when it comes to being a better individual, a better person, more successful, more financially secure, better taking care of their family, sometimes those decisions take months. I don't get it. But if you're at the point tonight where you're ready to get started and become a partner, there's some team members on standby. I'm sure somebody will put that into chat at the following number, 770-746-8585. That's 770-746-8585. All right, guys. So that's kind of all the admin stuff out of the way. Let's talk for a couple minutes here about the topic at hand today. And the topic at hand today is something that each and every one of us has an option and ability to do. But I could tell you, especially I think at the very beginning, early stages on in this business, a lot of us do not do it. And we don't do it for a lot of reasons. A lot of what we consider actually legitimate reasons. I didn't do this thing, what I'm about to share with you when I got started. Matter of fact, let me start tonight by sharing a story with you. And about in the business about 22 years ago, there was a very successful guy here in town. He was a wholesaler. His first name was Mike. And I was trying to buy a deal from Mike. Okay. And what happened is I thought the price made sense. I thought everything made sense. I wasn't 100% sure about the numbers. I was pretty dialed in, but not 100% dialed in, but dialed in enough to make an offer. Okay. But I got a little bit too aggressive on this offer. With some of the stipulations I put in there, and maybe even a little bit with the price, because I wasn't, I was hedging a little bit, but I knew I was in a ballpark. And back then, and a lot of you guys are not going to know what the heck I'm talking about, but back then we used to have these thing called fax machines, and there were boxes about this big, and believe it or not, you'd get a piece of paper, right? And you'd literally like insert inside this box, and somehow the box would like spin and do all this wibble wobble in there. And I don't know how, but somehow through the air, it would take your piece of paper and transmit to another fax number. Now, if you're anywhere probably under 20 or 25 today, you're like, well, that's BS. No, I'm telling you, this is how we used to communicate when we needed to get like paper from one place to another quickly. So I get this fax machine. I fax over to Michael, my contract, my offer. And remember, Michael was already successful in this business. This was one of my first couple deals, a couple decades ago, but Mike was already knocking out of the ballpark. And 20 minutes later, so a fax comes back to me. So Mike just did the same thing. He had one of those big boxes. He had that same contract. He somehow shoved it inside this box. This box did something amazing, made the paper disappear and somehow send it through thin air. And it comes out of my box, okay, called the fax machine. And I kid you not, I can't remember to the word, but I kid you not, approximately this is what he said. It sounds like you want to go to jail. And so, but I hear here in Fulton County we live in, is not a bad jail to be in. They feed you 3 times a day, they walk you, and blah, blah, blah. And then he says, see you in jail. This is how he responded to my offer. Of course, I didn't go to jail or anything like that, but Mike got me doing things a certain way based upon that fax that he sent back to me. Because remember, back then I was kind of new. I didn't have a ton of credibility, didn't have a ton of knowledge, didn't have really a ton of anything, but I was willing to learn. I was open to learning. And so to me, immediately, that became a learning experience. Whereas I should have drawn like a middle finger on this thing and sent a fax right back to him because I didn't know any better. I thought, well, gosh, I don't want to go to jail, right? So I'm going to learn from this experience. You know what that experience taught me? Is that experience taught me you better find the perfect deal. You better find the perfect deal. Because if that deal that you just made an offer on and you're not willing to pay exactly what you offered, like whatever I offered, let's say I offered $100,000. What that taught me, that experience, over a 20-minute experience taught me is that if I was not willing to close at exactly $100,000, don't even mess with it because that could put you in jail. Literally, that is what I got out of that experience with Mike that night. And the reason that was such a bad experience for me is he messed me up real bad for quite a bit of time. Because for the next X amount of months, I would do this before I would get another offer to someone. Because I didn't want to go to jail, right? So here's what I would do. I would drive to the property. I would analyze the property. I'd get my contractor to the property. I'd get all my numbers lined up. I'd get my money guy to commit that he could finance that property. I got my realtor to go look at that property to make sure that we could buy it at those numbers and then she could sell it at a higher numbers. I was airtight. Like, man, I was like what I used to call that university tight, like a professor university tight, right? And guess what happened? For the longest amount of time, I got nothing accepted. And you know why I didn't get anything accepted? For 2 reasons. One, by the time my whole team assembled, right? Because they couldn't assemble like in 20 minutes. They had to assemble over the next couple days. By time I got all the team to assemble, then disperse, come up with their numbers, get them to me. I'd plug them into like a calculator. I'd run them over, I'd analyze it. I'd comp it out with Zillow and all the other things. By the time I did that, if the deal even remotely made sense, guess what happened to that deal? It was gone. The deal was gone by that time. In essence, what Mike did is he put a barrier. He put a barrier between me and good deals. Okay? Because he taught me that if you don't submit a perfect contract and you don't live up to that perfect contract to a T, right? You're going to jail. And remember, look, and some of you guys are here, you're new tonight. You believe anything, right? You believe whatever somebody who's more experienced than you tells you. And back then, Mike had nothing on me other than he was experienced. And I felt that if Mike said that I can go to jail by being too aggressive on the contract or on the offer, to me, that was gospel. So in essence, Mike really screwed me up because I started making perfect offers, like offers I could live and die with. So again, number one, we just talked about it. I lost all the good deals. I lost all the good deals automatically because they weren't assembling their teams. They weren't getting the numbers. They were doing what I did initially. They were just firing contracts off. The second thing that messed me up is Mike, he prevented. He prevented my growth in terms of being a very good negotiator. Because with Mike's philosophy, there was no negotiating, right? You get that perfect offer out, you get it accepted or rejected. If it's accepted, you do it. If it's rejected, you're out. And there was no need for negotiating. I learned through Mike, hey, it's a black and white business, right? And so I missed all the good deals, and he pushed my negotiations, strategies, techniques, learning thereof, and all that. He pushed it way, 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 way out. So even when I understood what Mike was telling me was a bunch of BS, it took me then, it took me maybe 5-6 months to realize what Mike was telling me was BS. And then it took me another 5 or 6 or 7 months to start learning the art of negotiating. So it could be argued this one bozo pushed my growth in this business back by a year because he took away one of the most important tools that we as investors have, and that is the art of being aggressive. It's the art of being aggressive. And I can tell you, if you're in real estate and you refuse to be aggressive, if you hear me talk, I talk about pillars all the time. Like I talk about the pillar of success. And mostly I talk about pillars of success, right? But I can tell you there's also pillars of failure. There's pillars that some of you guys bring to this business that I brought to this business, right? I brought like my pillars of success were this big when I got started. My pillars of failure were this big, okay? So I get it. I'm not picking anybody. But a pillar of failure in this business is refusing to be successful. Refusing to be, in essence, it's refusing to be successful. And that is by refusing to be aggressive. You have to learn how to be aggressive in real estate. And you have to learn how to be aggressive in all aspects of real estate. But the very first aspect and the most important aspect is the one that I just shared with you. And that is the pillar of success of being aggressive on your offers. See, one of the worst, not one, it is, it's probably one of the worst things, but the thing that prolongs, one of the things that prolongs people's success in this real estate business. And you hear talk about, you hear us talk about it. I'm sure you've read about it. If you watch YouTube videos, I'm sure you've seen it. And a lot of, and this has nothing to do with real estate, by the way. This is just reality. And it's called the paralysis of analysis, right? You heard about this, right? Paralysis of analysis. And that is this. I'm going to do the perfect offer, right? Now, remember, I got cornered into there. I got cornered into paralysis of analysis because I wasn't smart enough to recognize a bully, to recognize somebody that was just messing with me, and somebody was just trying to force me to honor a contract that I had the right to back out of for whatever reason during my inspection period. But a lot of people do not get bullied into paralysis of analysis. A lot of people bring that with them. And I get it, because a lot of this comes down to like your habits and how you do things and how you look at things and how you were brought up and how you do what you do. Like for instance, I realized, like, for instance, this paralysis of analysis is many times predicated by professions, literally. Like we'll get an engineer. We'll be working with an engineer. Now remember, an engineer, that is no question, better have paralysis of analysis, right? Like I'm on a 4th floor right now in my office, right? You better believe it. That guy that engineer that put the plans together for this fourth floor structure, I hope he had a paralysis of analysis designing every detail here, because the last thing I want to do is like, right, have a cave in. So a lot of professions have these things that develop habits of paralysis of analysis. Engineers, surgeons, right? I've found over many years of working with surgeons for Avi, hey, I'm doing brain surgery, dude, paralysis of analysis, please. Let's get ready for this thing. Let's go over the top. Let's plan it out. Let's strategize. You know what I mean? An astronaut. Yeah. They and their teams, paralysis of analysis, right? Not when you're in real estate. Opposite. A lot of times when I work with salespeople, salespeople are like, off the cuff. Let's just get the deal done. Okay. Business owners, a lot of times, they understand in business, you got to move quickly. You got to make decisions quickly. It's not always going to be the perfect decision, but it's a decision. So a lot of times paralysis of analysis is based upon the profession or the habits that you bring to the table. A lot of times they're developed within the business themselves. Like mine was developed within the business, right? I came with a very strong, not real estate background, but sales background, And so for me, I never had that issue, but that one event, this is why I tell people, if you want to be in real estate, you don't want to partner with me, that's okay. You better go find a partner. Because that one night, those 20 minutes cost me over a year in this business. One night, 20 minutes talking to a jerk cost me over a year. And God only knows how much money I lost in that year, because I was like losing it big time during that time. Had that 1 year not happened, there's chances I wouldn't have bought some of the properties I bought at the inflated prices I bought them, because I thought you had the perfect setup. I thought you had to have the perfect setup. So if you're serious about real estate, and I know this is a little of a pivot here, a little bit deviation, but I will tell you, if you're serious about real estate here tonight, and you're like beating your chest and you're going to knock this thing out, number one, you ain't going to knock it out by yourself. Number two, if not with us, find somebody else. Mistakes in his business, boom, happen like this, and the ramification of some mistakes last days, weeks, months. As you saw in this one example, a 20-minute cost me over a year in this business. But be aggressive. Be aggressive, especially in your offer. See, I could tell you, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but I bet it's at least 98% true. So as I bought real estate here in the Georgia market and surrounding markets, before I even started the partner-driven model, where it was like we did it ourselves. I had frontline negotiators. I had a full-time closer. By the way, still have all these people, except now they help my partners across the nation. But when they were all working for me specifically, I would bet to say out of the last 1,000 properties we bought, we didn't see one of them before we made the offer. Think about that. You're sitting here right now, potentially looking to be in real estate, or maybe you already are in real estate, and you're asking yourself, why have I not still found a deal? Well, part of it could be you're looking for the perfect deal, and they don't exist. And because we knew the perfect deals didn't exist, when I was doing this all about for myself and with my team, since we knew the perfect deals didn't exist, why even spend our time running around trying to identify it? No. Now, part of the reason is we got very good at it. You know, I still 100% recommend to the people in this business who haven't done a ton of deals, whether you're doing it by yourself or someone else, you're doing it with us. If you have the opportunity, go see the seller. There's no question about it. You got to do it. But at a certain level, we got to be so big, so kind of ginormous, and we got to know the market so well. We literally knew it block to block. We didn't have to go see every property. So we started making blind offers after talking to sellers. Why? Because we just wanted to be aggressive. We wanted to be aggressive. We kind of sort of, we know the area. We kind of even know that couple block area because we've done a deal or two there, or we've negotiated a deal or two there. We kind of know that's about $100,000 house. The seller is telling us it's not livable, so we probably know it needs at least $30,000 to $50,000 worth of work, if not more. And that's all the information we needed to make those offers. Got to be aggressive. See, any day I tell people, any day when I'm like, let's say I evaluate someone's business, right? Let's say somebody asks me to evaluate their business. There's a couple markers that I check off when I look at different people's businesses. One of the markers is this: how many deals do you have that you're working on, that you have under contract, let's say, or maybe in a follow-up queue? And people all the time confuse that because they think, well, Pete, don't you want to know how many deals I have closing tomorrow or in the next week? I do, of course, but that's not a leading indicator. You may have 2 deals closing, but you might have gotten lucky. You might have found one seller with 2 properties that you happen to walk into those deals. Didn't have to be a rocket scientist. Anybody could have caught that deal had they timed it correctly, right? You just timed it correctly, no skill set. No. I rather know how many deals you have in the works, under contract, in a follow-up mode. You know, I always tell people, he who makes the most money in real estate is not he or she who has the most closings. It's he or she who controls the most real estate. Okay? Because when you control real estate, right? Here's what happens. One of 3 things. A lot fall out, right? A lot will fall out, just whatever. No deal. People change their minds. Some will just get pushed back for whatever reason. And some will close. It's just, it just works the same way all the time. So when somebody tells me I have 2 deals ready to close, I'm a lot less impressed than when somebody says I got 15 under contract. Because the guy or the girl that has 15 under contract understands the concept of being aggressive. I don't have to explain it to them. To the guy or the girl that's got 2 under contract, we could really quickly realize, like I said, that they just got lucky. Might have been a relative that was ready to sell and they had to be good deals. Means nothing. So I have to teach them this concept of being aggressive. The person that's got 15, 10, 15 tied up, I don't got to teach them the concept of being aggressive. They got it. Because they know as well as I know, not all 10 are going to closing. They get it. It's okay. It's okay. It's a lot more important to be aggressive than to close every deal you have under contract. If you think about it, that's how anything works in life, right? When are you always batting 100? When do you have to be, in what sense of direct, like in school, did you bat 100? But you graduated, right? In dating, did you bag? That's not a good word when talking about dating, right? Did you bat 100 in when you were dating? No. Chances are you're married. When you look for a car, did you buy every car you saw? No. Chances are you're driving a car. Well, same thing in real estate. Don't think you got to be 100. And this is another thing that a lot of times people misinterpret, right? This is another thing people misinterpret. They'll say like, wow, Pete, like I had 5 deals come through. And they'll see me like, give me 5. And they're like, well, that's rude, because they think I'm rubbing it in their face. They think I'm messing with them. Furthest from the truth. I'm congratulating them because they understand the concept of being aggressive. I deep down inside, see, I see it differently than they see it. They see it as 5 deals falling through. I see it that you're aggressive. You're smart enough to get it tied up. Now, obviously, we're not talking about like, okay, well, let's just put every property under contract. That's, it's worth 100. They won 300. I'm going to put under contract. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about putting deals that are usually within 10 or 15% of where they need to end up, putting those deals under contract. And if your 5 last deals fell through, that's okay. You are totally not off track. I've had by this time I've had, I know it, to make my numbers work. I know I've had thousands and thousands of deals fall through. But the crazy thing about it, I can't remember them. Like literally out of the thousands of deals I've had fallen through, if right now you were here and you're saying, Pete, put on that board over there 50 of them or 20 of them. I couldn't do it. I mean, I have to really, 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 really think about it. So get comfortable, actually get very comfortable with being aggressive, and get even more comfortable with knowing that not everything is going to close. If you get those 2 things lined up, right? Like I always tell people, I try to teach the pillars of success as we talk about, try to touch people to stay away from pillars of failure. But if you take these 2 pillars down today, be aggressive and be comfortable with deals falling through, those 2 will carry you very far. One without the other will mess you up. Like be aggressive, but be devastated when fall through. That's a bad one. That combination will kick your butt, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to be aggressive. Okay, look, I'm within 10% of this deal. I'm going to put under contract. I'm within 5% of this deal. I'm going to put under contract. I'm within this or this deal. I'm going to put under contract. And all of a sudden, those 4 or 5 deals all fall through and you get devastated by it. That's a bad combination. Now, in the beginning, that's a normal reaction. That's a normal reaction, and that's okay. It shouldn't feel good when things fall through. You shouldn't get pleasure out of that. But when you understand that that is a pillar of success, of being aggressive and understanding things will come through, that's not a bad thing. That is actually 2 pillars of success. Then you got it made, because then it's off to the races, right? It's off to the races. I'll be aggressive. I'll put a bunch of things under contract that have a realistic chance of closing, which means they should be within 10 to 15%. The lower the percentage, the better. You should, bottom line, you should be right there. Just can't get it over the top. Now, why is this all a reality? It's all a reality because the process of negotiations, it could be argued, only starts at the time you get it under contract. So, you're not, you're going back and forth with the seller. You might be sitting at their kitchen table. You might be doing it through the phone. You guys come to a price, let's say you have to, you got to be at least 90 to make the deal work. Let's say he's at 95. You're like, okay, that's close enough. Let's put under contract, right? That is just the beginning. That is just the beginning of negotiations. The problem comes in is when people think that's the beginning and the end. Well, I didn't get it to where I needed to be. I didn't get it to 90. And so the negotiations is over. No, that is the beginning of negotiations. And I could tell you, being somebody that's negotiated a ton of deals, I would consider myself actually be a very good negotiator. By the way, there's nothing that'll make you more money in this business than understanding how to negotiate. Nothing. Your contractor could not save you enough money. Your hard money lender could not give you any cheaper money to make the kind of impact that a good negotiator will make. Because as a good negotiator, I could knock a price down 10, 20, 30% like that. Right? So there's nothing in that bit, and there's no other margins that has that kind of impact in this business. So negotiations is key. I tell you this about how would you like to spend a couple hours with me learning, and I'll teach you personally how to negotiate. Well, guess what? And not through like this, but in a live environment. I'm going to do that. On June 26th and June 27th. I'm going to be right here in Atlanta. I want you to come visit me for 2 days. I'm going to teach you how to negotiate. I'm going to take at least a couple hours, probably 2 to 3 hours. And I'm going to teach you personally how I negotiate deals 20, 30 to 40% down each time. What an impact that will have on your business, right? So Partner Driven Live, I'm sure the registration link is up somewhere. If you're not committed to coming to Atlanta, you need to. Partner Driven Live, it's going to be amazing. All right, so let's go back. Negotiations only start during that part. Your aggressiveness is just enough to get you in the door into a realistic deal. Not a pie in the sky deal that'll never happen, but a realistic, you're within 5, 10, maybe 15% of where you need to be. I could tell you, the better the negotiator, the more they negotiate all the way to the closing. That's the crazy thing about it. The beginner thinks negotiations start and stop at that initial negotiations. A savvy negotiator, when they're negotiating, driving to the closing. Oh yeah, forgot to tell you, but I can't pay this, but I can do this and blah, 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 and all the techniques that come with that. Okay? So the savvy negotiator negotiates all the way down to the table, closing table. So be aggressive. Be aggressive in your offers. Any day, I'll rather take a person, an individual, who's got a bunch of stuff under contract, that at least have a chance of closing, than that one perfect deal that has all the chance of closing, but then we start at zero again. No momentum, no contracts, no deals, no this, no that. We're starting up the Mount Everest again. It's another pillar of failure. Starting at zero all the time, that's a pillar of failure. Because it's just too hard. It's too difficult. That's why people that climb mountains, when they climb them, they don't just go jump on another mountain. They sometimes take weeks, months, years to go up to the next mountain. It takes a lot to climb a mountain. It takes a lot to close a real estate deal. Understanding the pillar of success of aggression will allow you, and I literally mean allow you, to have more deals under contract. Not understanding the pillar of success of being aggressive will not allow you, preclude you from doing it. You'll be too scared, you'll be too worried. It's not the perfect offer. It's not the perfect deal. Be aggressive. Be aggressive in all aspects. Go for it. Being aggressive also is a shortcut to success. People all the time tell me, you got to work hard. There's no shortcuts. That's such crap. I don't know where it all started from. There's absolutely shortcuts to success. Make no mistake about it. Do you have to work hard? Yes. That is not something you're going to eliminate. Yes, you have to work hard. I work as hard as anyone, and I've been at this thing for decades, and I got thousands of deals behind me, and it's 8 o'clock here tonight, and I still got a little bit more work to do, and I'll be up at 3:30 or 4 in the morning, going at it. I love working. I work hard because I love to work hard now. Okay. But there are shortcuts to success. There's no question there's shortcuts to success. And one of the shortcuts is understanding that you got to be aggressive. When you're aggressive, people will actually even treat you with a lot more respect than if you're a dandelion looking to do that perfect offer. People don't have time for that. If I'm a seller and I'm got a good deal that I'm realizing it's a good deal, but my circumstances put me in this position, I got to get rid of it. I don't want to work with somebody that's going to take 3 days, to do something. It's a good deal, dude. Let's go. All right. So be aggressive. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you tonight. If you're a partner, be aggressive. If you're not a partner tonight, but you're at the point where you're ready to jump in, you have committed to putting your boss's dreams into your number one spot in life, right? Every day you go there and you battle for his dreams and goals, and you battle for making him look good and all that. But you're ready to put your dreams as that battle on the forefront. And you're ready to do it through the real estate investing business. Then we have some team members on standby here tonight at, I know this number by now. It is 770-746-8585. 770-746-8585. I have a couple members on standby, team members on standby. So if you're ready to get started and get rock and rolling, give them a call and they'll get you started. Well, guys, my name is Peter Vexelman, Partner-Driven Real Estate Investing. I really, truly enjoyed tonight. I hope you got something out of it. What I told you tonight absolutely 100% works. It's not a theory. It's not a try it out, let me know. It's a you do it and you'll see how it works. So on behalf of myself, most importantly, all the people behind me that make all this amazing stuff happen, I thank you, and we'll be back here same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.